And I wish they would admit the real intention to ban the Bible.
Is that what it is? Is to ban the Bible?
That's what people are saying.
Okay. If they just pass the law and they start arresting people for having a Bible,
I'm a convicted federal criminal, yes.
David here, and I'm with my newly found friend, Gary. And Gary has not escaped California, as you know I have. And the reason is, I've talked about this, they are passing laws, and they are trying to pass laws, which they will pass, that basically says that you cannot talk about a sexual orientation, you can't come against homosexuality, you can't come against transgender, or you'll be civilly prosecuted. Gary, what say you? You live in California about that?
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised at all. I had said to you before that I actually wish they would go all the way with it, and I wish they would admit the real intention to ban the Bible.
Is that what it is? Is to ban the Bible?
That's what people are saying.
Okay.
I haven't really studied this bill very much, but that's what a lot of people are saying. And I've heard pastors say why that's what it is, and they have a pretty good argument as to why it is that. But I wish they would go all the way and admit it, and then actually carry it out, because that'll wake people up when they start carting you away for having a Bible.
Okay, so you think if they just pass the law and they start arresting people for having a Bible, you think that's going to change the people in California? Well,
what I think is they're not going all the way with it yet. They're doing what they always do. They're doing it step by step, slow,
frog in hot water.
And so if this passes, nothing's going to probably happen right away. It'll probably take some time. If they actually do arrest you for having a Bible, it'll probably be in a few years. I don't think it'll happen right now.
And it won't happen under the umbrella of having a Bible. It'll happen because of what's attached to it.
Correct.
Because you told someone they cannot be a homosexual because you read Sodom and Gomorrah, right?
Yeah. So I just say, this is probably going to happen. I would rather them just go all the way and admit it and start doing it, because it's kind of like a shock and awe, and it'll shock people. But if they do it slow, in 3-5 years, it'll just be too late.
Okay, so you are a convicted misdemeanor, a convicted felon.
I'm a convicted federal criminal, yes.
Federal criminal, but it's a misdemeanor charge.
Yes.
But you still have it on your record.
There's a law in California called the Brown Act, and the Brown Act is what allows you to take meetings, speak at meetings. It structures the meetings to make them more efficient and smooth, and it kind of goes both ways, but it's for the public, so we have freedom in these meetings.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, the Brown Act allows you to film, and I said, hey, this is a Brown Act meeting, I'm allowed to film. And I ended up, when I realized they weren't going to let me have my way, I turned my camera on and I started filming them, because I wanted them on record. To me, this is sensational. To not be allowed to tape a meeting. This has never happened before that I've seen.
Okay.
Not that it's never happened anywhere, but it's never happened to me, this kind of meeting. And as soon as I took that camera out, they immediately placed me in handcuffs. And because of where I was at, I was on federal property, I was charged with a federal crime.
Wow.
And I actually they took it all the way to trial. They refused to drop the charges.
How long ago was this?
The trial was in April.
But when did this happen? When were you arrested?
The incident was in August of 2017.
2017. So for the past year and a half, you've been dealing with this.
It was like 8 or 10 months.
What about the financial ramifications? Does it cost you much money to fight this?
I was very fortunate. There was a lawyer in my circle who's a First Amendment attorney, and he's a believer in what we do. And he has a system where, and I don't want to get too much into it, but he has a system where basically he allows you to pay him what you can pay him. And so he wants you to crowdsource. So I crowdsourced money, and I've paid him over $6,000, which is a bargain considering that he argued in federal trial for me.
Right.
But I was convicted. I was convicted of the crime, and basically the reason why I was convicted is the judge, who's a federal. So basically, it's one of these things where the people who are prosecuting me and the judge are employed by the same people. And because it was a petty misdemeanor, I was not allowed a jury.
Okay, so you are a convicted misdemeanor, a convicted felon.
I'm a convicted federal criminal, yes.
federal criminal, but it's a misdemeanor charge.
Yes.
But you still have it on your record.
Yeah, so when I was coming here today, I was worried that the airlines or the TSA was going to flag me because my charge is failing to comply with a federal officer.
Oh, man.
And they're federal officers. So they could have easily said, hey, you know, what's your problem? You know, you're not going to comply with us? It's like, well, I'm just trying to get on this airplane.
Yeah.
But there was no problem with that. So
Yeah.
actually, the whole thing's been a big blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because
it makes people aware.
It became a national story for a little while.
Yeah.
It got on Drudge Report. The case itself was precedent setting because there was no prior precedent to somebody trying to go into one of these meetings and being arrested for having a camera.
And they follow through with it. You know,
Yes.
you would think, well, they'll drop the charges, you know, smack you on the hand, but to actually have a trial, you went to trial?
Yeah, it was a nonviolent,
about it.
a nonviolent misdemeanor. We're in a sanctuary state in California.
Right,
And,
exactly.
and a month before the trial, I got a news story that there was a person in San Diego who was arrested. He was driving a fake UPS truck, and he had 77 people in the back of his truck that he was smuggling into the country. And within 7 days of him being arrested, the feds dropped the charges.
Oh, it's crazy.
And so we used that as part of my defense, and the judges said, I don't care.
My question is there any hope for California?
Well, I don't think so. The only hope that I do see is if they were to pass a law like that, and that would wake people up. Because I think when it comes to the Bible, we are still a Christian nation. You know, all these immigrants they're bringing in, you know, many of them come from Christian nations, you know, like the Catholics and the Latinos and all that. I don't think they would stand for it.
Okay.
And, you know, I hate to say that's what it takes is something that drastic.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
So what you're saying is it's over for California, basically.
I think so. I think it's been over for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not there. People always tell me that, oh, you're trying to save California. No, I'm not. I'm trying to show the rest of the country what the left looks like and what it looks like when they rule over you.
Right, exactly. So California is kind of a prequel to what's going to happen in the United States. If you see what's happening,
Well, it's already been happening.
Yeah, but California usually leads the way.
Yeah, so California was the
So-
first. Well, I think Massachusetts was, but California, they did the whole, you know, gay marriage. We had
Right.
Prop 8 and all
Yeah.
that. And then, you know, people in other states, like especially like the Alabamas of the world, they're like, oh, that'll never happen here. Well, it has happened. All 50 states have now legalized through the Supreme Court gay marriage. And that started, well, it more or less started in California. I know Massachusetts did it first, but the real kickoff, you know, it was California that did it.
Okay.
So
you heard it here, folks. It's over for California. I've escaped. Gary's still there. You got to get out,
for the time being, yeah.
You got to get out. And if you're in California, you need to think about this. Gary, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.